Hello, my name is Leela. This is my presentation on the Trinidad and Tobago culture. This was very interesting. I learned a lot. I think this is a culture that is very different than ours. So I was really eager to learn, and I'm happy to share with you guys. During this presentation, you will see the introduction of the culture. You will also see the history of the culture, the flag and what it looks like, the language that is spoken, some of the religions that are more popular, celebrations, their traditional clothings, food, imports and exports, political views, music, and sports. The Trinidadian and Tobago culture has many different ethnicities. There's not just one. There are tend to be a mixture. They have West African, West Indian, British, and French, which are some of the more prevalent ones. They are known for their vibrant colors that are often displayed in their festivals, which is called carnivals, that they host. They do these each year. Important part of their culture is music and dance, which is something in their land. They actually created this music called soca, which is very native to them. The great thing about this culture is I definitely think that um, there's a mixture in that all ethnicities tend to intertwine with one another, which really make it very beautiful. The history of this culture is that they've been fighting together to stand on their own for actually a pretty long time. From their fight from enslavement from independence that was gained for the British in the 1960s. And this is something that kind of continued over time. They are proud to look at the things that they have conquered and look to celebrate that in their creativity and music and dance. I think that is probably one of the most beautiful things is the things that they've overcome. They tend to have a sense of pride about it, not looking at it as a way um, of maybe to feel sorry for them or pity, but it's more of, like I said, like a pride to know that this is what they've done and to feel proud of themselves. This is the flag, the Trinidadian flag. I think it's almost kind of similar to the British, which I think probably has something to do with the people that tried to overtake them. The languages. So the primary language there is English. If you're from there, they speak English. But there's also a language, I guess you could say a dialect of a Trinidadian Creole, which is actually spoken among the villages. When I did my interview, uh, the the family that I'm familiar with, I often heard them speak it. It's broken. It's something that only people from their village actually are able to understand, which I don't know, it to me that brings a sense of warmness, a sense of home, and being able to tell where you are or where you're from without even asking, I would say. The religion. So the primary religion is Catholic, but they do have various Christian traditions. Um, but the primary religion is Catholic. Holiday celebrations. One of the most famous ones is Carnival. It is tend to be a big party, but there is a lot more, there's a deeper significance to that. It's a celebration of freedom from slavery from the French. It is deep in the history and the culture, and again, being proud of them being able to fight off oppression. Then there's also Diwali. There, like I said, it's not just West African. Also, they have a mixture of West Indian. So those traditions were also brought to that country. However, this was not just um, bringing the religion part, but more of the traditions and the celebration of it, um, just to ward off evil spirits and bring a light to a new season and going into the holiday season. So I think that is a great way to adapt other cultures, especially with the mixture of what Trinidad and Tobago is, even if you don't share their religion. This is some of the traditional clothing. Like I said, it's very, you can tell it's kind of very similar to um, Indian and African clothing. But again, it's that mixture, and that's what makes it to me beautiful, is that mixture of being able to accept those two different ethnicities and create your own culture. Their foods again represent those two ethnicities combining. Curry is something that I was exposed to through their culture. I've had it with beef and goat, very spicy, very, very spicy. And then they eat it with something that is like very similar to tortillas, but it's more lighter and thinner in texture. Um, and that's what they eat with it. This is a picture of it right here. They usually deal with vegetables. Um, Different cultures have different colors of their curry, and this is what Trinidadian curry looks like. Some curries can be red, and it all depends on usually where the culture is from, the color of the curry, because it's the type of powder that they use in the spices. Exports. Um, Trinidad is leading actually amongst all of the Caribbean countries. It is the largest trading in hydrocarbon, contributes to at least 37% of the country's GDP. The largest export actually is the US, really. This is something of how they really finance their country. This is a big part of how they create their money for their country. Their political views, the views in Trinidad and Tobago is Republican. They were once under the UK monarch when they were um, taken over by the British, and it is now the head of state. They are not like other Caribbean islands. They do that have fixed terms. Their presidents can serve for a maximum of 2 terms. Most other islands, they actually don't have that. This came from their independence of Trinidad in the 1960s, again, when they have the celebration of fighting the oppression. Music, soca. So this is something that I did say it has a definitely beat of its own. It's creative. They use a lot of instruments. I've actually seen it a couple of times. This was actually after they fought oppression. This was a way of celebration, a way of celebrating their freedom. And in that, they created their own music. They often play this with families to dance and to sing to. The family that I'm familiar with, they are very creative artistically with singing and dance, and they do contribute that to the Trinidadian culture. Sports, cricket. I don't know if anybody has ever experienced familiar with cricket. It is a mixture of baseball a little bit, but it is very popular in Trinidad. Actually, I think I figured out what cricket was knowing that family who culture was from Trinidad. So this is the end of my presentation. I want to say thank you so much for taking out the time to watch my video. I hope you like it.